Hmm?
Are you going to sit there?
Well, no.
No?
But I kind of need no one to sit here because the camera's here.
I thought that'd be...
Camera's here, so.
I know, I'm just going to put Jeremy behind
A
me.
little too much for me when I went in and did it. I was like, this is
How the hell am I supposed to do this, Aaron?
You good? Yep. Alright, so everybody knows how to log into the Mac system, correct? Aaron, will you log me in, please? No, other one. So the website is myasbagent.com. Nope, Michael.
Just click down.
There you
Just click down.
Which one is it? The first one?
go. The first one.
Okay.
You remember the password?
Yes.
It's capital.
Yeah, I know.
C-L-E-N.
So I created an example person in here so we can use them. Will you type example, please, Aaron? Name them example. Okay, so this is a survey I got. I called Mr. Example, set up an appointment with them. They want me to go see them next week. I said, oh, great, okay, great. I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm going to go in here and update all the information. That way I have everything I need to know. Maybe I'll do it.
Depends on how late you get home that night.
It's doing this circle for me.
Thinking.
There we go. Okay, so they want me to go see them next week. So will you type in next week in there? Just literally type, yep, next week.
Neither for
Now when you do that, and add to calendar, it'll literally put next week's date in there. So I'm going to see them next week. This will send me a reminder. It'll send me an email the morning of Tuesday to say, hey John, you have a meeting with Mr. Example. I have their date and everything in here. I can click on it. When it comes up my email, it'll show all this information. If I know exactly what time it is, I put what time in there and then I know. Okay, I have to go see them at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It also puts it in the calendar for me. So if I were to go to next week, Example will pop up. This is when I'm going to see them. Any questions about that? Now I go, I run the appointment, found out all their information, and this is where I fill this out. They had a med sup, it was Blue Cross Blue Shield. When you click on this, it's got a big pull-down menu. Whatever they have, you can select. They have Blue Cross Blue Shield, they're paying $250 a month. The missus has the same thing for $170. So I have all the information there. When I sat down with them, I found out all their health questions. Put all that in there as well. That way I know exactly what they have. I did this right after I left the house while I'm sitting in their driveway while my GPS is looking for the next place. Went in there, started doing all this stuff. I want to make sure it's fresh in my mind. I don't want to make sure I miss anything. I don't want to have to go at the end of the day and look in there and go, oh, I can't remember who had cancer. Was it him or her? I really don't know. I did this right after the appointment and put all this information in there.
Now, the important part is you want to add that example when you first make the appointment. So when you get off the phone with the client right then, you just booked the appointment for 10 o'clock next week or whatever, you're going in there and adding that client. So you're just putting their name, date of birth, and their phone number and their address into the Mac system. So when you go meet with them next week, it's already in the system. All you're going to do is add the notes. And it's very, very simple to do. It's only one extra step from when you make the appointment, when you're writing it down in your book, to type it into the Mac system.
So now let's say they want their kids to be at the next appointment.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, when you pulled that up, the client was already there. How do you add a client?
Okay, yeah, go back to the beginning there. Whenever you do anything, make sure you save it.
All you do is click Add New Contact.
Okay.
You click that, it'll bring up a blank one. You put all the information you want in there, as much as you have, and then when you're done, on the right, you hit Save. So you would just type all the information you have.
So you can put as much or little. If you just want to put the name and address and phone number, you just do that. At least it's in there. At least you've started it. It's easier now to pull it back up as soon as you're done with the client and add the notes.
John, is that add a client also on the first page when you go?
No,
on?
you have to pick
So
contact manager first.
So that's been taken off, because it used to be on the page where it had contact manager as well.
No, it's under, yeah, you have to click under contact manager and it's on the right side. Any questions about that?
If you would just put in a new appointment that you just put in and you put all your information in, name and address and phone number, could you put the date of the appointment in the follow-up?
You sure can.
And that would that add it to your calendar?
There's a box right below it that says add to calendar. You click that and it'll add it to your calendar.
For that day?
Yes, ma'am?
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
You said when you finish meeting with the client, while you're sitting in your car, you add information, you wouldn't do it while you're with them, and you're just waiting until you could.
That's up to you. You can most certainly do it when you're with them. A lot of people, when you're filling out the fact finder, you have the fact finder afterwards. You just put all that in there so you have it all electronically after. I'm also going to show you how you can upload the fact finder into the client file. That way you have it for later on.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yep. Any other questions so far?
Does the calendar link to any other calendars, or is that all?
Not right now. It's just on this, but it sends you an email if you have anything like birthday reminders, appointment reminders. It sends you an email in the morning. Hey, these clients have birthdays. You have an appointment with this person. You need to follow up with this person.
Okay, your to-do list for the day.
Yep. All right, so we're back to the example survey. Now let's say I met with them. They were excited, I got some basic information from them, but they want their kids to be there. They're very concerned that, they want to make sure they're not running into anything, they're taking care of their kids, that their kids are there and happy with everything they do. So they're going to get in touch with their kids and they're going to follow back up with me. So Aaron, can you type, want to talk to your kids? They will call next week.
Why not? Why?
Oh, well, that's,
WCB.
Follow up next week. Okay, now it's very important after you do any kind of notes, you hit add note. If you do not hit add note, it will not save that note no matter how much you typed in them.
It'll ask you.
Yes, it will ask you, but you want to make sure you hit it as well. So I hit add note, I know that's going to be in there. So I know next week I need to follow up with Mr. Example. That's when you can go to the follow-up and do like I did next week. I know I need to follow up with them. Okay, but I completed a fact finder. I always lose fact finders. That happens all the time. And then when I go to turn in an app and I have a signed fact finder, my manager yells at me. So I'm going to upload my fact finder. What I did was I went to the copier and I scanned it to myself. Everybody knows how to do that, right? Okay? So I take it from the email and I save it to my desktop. Then I go to Manage File. I'm going to choose what I saved it for on my desktop.
Then you can erase it off your desktop.
And now it's saved. And then you erase it off your desktop. Now it will always be there. It's always stored on there unless you delete it.
So how do you get to it?
Manage Files, there it is.
You click on it.
Can you edit it on there?
Can you edit it? No, ma'am. It's just saved as a PDF. And it pulls right up.
You can erase that and add a new one, right?
Yes, you can update it. Yes.
You can put as many files on there as you want.
And it's supposed to pull up too.
Maybe it's blank file.
Save it on the truck. Yep. And now when it's saved in there, that little envelope will show up at the bottom. It lets you know that either a fact finder is saved or an app is saved, and that will work.
And it'll tell you exactly how many are there.
Sometimes they'll pull up from
There we go.
the front screen.
So my completed fact finder's in here. So you guys always have access to that. That's when we upload all the applications you do, they're all in there as well. That way you guys have access to all that stuff.
I know. It's not complete.
Okay, so let's say I went out and met with them again, and I wrote them a Care Improvement Plus. And I want to tag it CIP, because at the end of the year, in January, let's say it was open enrollment, I want to go back and see all my CIP clients. So I hit CIP, hit enter please, Aaron, and boom, that tag pops up. That's great. I got a bunch of them. Now, you put that in there, you got to know how to search for it as well. You can put any tag you want whatsoever. You can search for any kind of different tags. You can put as many tags in there as you want. You can delete any tag you want to. To delete it, you just click on the X, and it goes away.
What is the color coding?
That is something they do. It means nothing. It's just, yep. It's an absolutely random thing. Okay, so I hit save after I put the new tag in.
So you really don't need any of that stuff. The notes, the tag thing.
It's up to you, however you want to do it, whatever you think is going to be simpler for you.
How do you sort by tags?
I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, so when you want to search for an individual name or a birthday or something like that, you would click search. Then you can search by tag or exclude by tag. Now I want to find everybody who has a CIP. So Aaron, will you type CIP, please?
Like I said, types as well as I do.
Now it's going to search for everybody with CIP. The first one that pops up, Mr. Example Survey. Now let's say I wanted to find everybody who didn't, I wanted to exclude CIPs. I wanted to meet with every single client I have that does not have a Care Improvement Plus because it's open enrollment and I want to see if they need it. You can do the exact same thing right below it. You exclude by tag. You type that CIP tag there, it'll pull out everyone that has the CIP, Care Improvement Plus. So Aaron, if you just want to type that right there as well, please.
Will that just pull CIP or will it pull CIP dual, MAPD, go?
If you have CIP space dual, it'll pull that.
Yeah, you have to set up the tag.
If you tag, whatever you tag, see.
And see, now she's not showing, or Mr. Example Survey is not showing up because we excluded them. Any questions on that? You can literally use any tag you want. We have hundreds and hundreds of tags that we've tagged different things throughout the years.
The cool thing is you go and meet with somebody and you get some notes and you find out they have AARP, you can go ahead and tag them. And so what happens is, you know, like 2 years later, you find out AARP is going out of business, you can go ahead and pull up every AARP client that you've ever met with. So the more that you tag, the more that you use this, the more information you will have. And so all of a sudden, you know, things change. Well, those of you that were like Medicare Advantage 3 years ago, Blue Cross 2 years ago, Blue Cross Blue Shield pulled all their Medicare Advantage out of South Carolina. If you had 100 people tagged Blue Cross Blue Shield, guess what? You just got your 100 people that are losing health care that you can go right back to and call. So the database system, the way it should be used, is to be able to create your own leads. And the longer you do business and the longer that you put all of your clients that you meet with in this contact system, it is much, much easier to find out any of your own calling list that you're essentially making for yourself. How was your food? All right. Does anybody have any questions on the database software?
You just said we can delete tags, any tags we want. There's a lot of tags on there that you guys put on there upstairs though.
Please don't delete them.
Like local and all that stuff. So don't delete any of that, just the tags we put in.
Yes, just like, let's say you put CIP, you tag somebody's CIP, and you went back and wrote them an ARP MedSup, you can delete that tag.
Oh, that was, yeah.
I would just keep them added. It kind of tells you where they've come from, so you kind of know what they've had before. And yeah.
Is there an easy way to say upload from either Access or Excel
Yes,
into here?
Yes, if you have a file you want uploaded, send it to me, I can upload it for you.
Okay.
The system will make sure we're the only ones that can, that way the data is not, let's say you hit something wrong or uploaded something wrong and the address is going where the name should and the phone number is going where the zip code is,
Right.
they only allow us to do that. But yes, I can most certainly do that for you.
Okay, because that would make it a whole lot easier.
Yes, ma'am? Sure can.
So if we
Can you
we
even
bought
add
a
a
list
tag?
and,
Can I what?
Can you add a tag?
Sure can.
Okay, great.
Yep.
so if we buy a list with 100 names on it and it's, you could, and it comes PDF file, you could.
No, not PDF. Excel, yes.
Excel.
Not PDF.
You can convert
Is there a
it to
mobile?
PDF tag.
Yes, you can use this on tablet and a phone.
It works just fine. Actually, it's great on that. For those of you that are new and have not worked with the Mac system before, remember that if you are able to get email addresses for any of your clients, your email address will automatically send out your newsletter every month. So you can see on there December newsletter, January newsletter. So long as you have an email address, it'll automatically send out your newsletter that's personally made for you with your picture on it and everything else. So you definitely want to make sure you have email addresses in there.
Can we change our picture on there?
Sure can. Send me a new picture.
Yeah, it's that easy. Very good. Don't forget for people that, I use this a lot for my birthday cards. Every single month I send birthday cards to the clients I want to. Everything is populated in there.
Check addresses.
Yes.
Scott gets a lot that come back.
I get one every month.
He sends out a bunch and I get a bunch back too. So like it's my birthday every single month.
These newsletters are basically for Medicare, right? That you send
No, they're very generic newsletters. There's a copy of every single one in the document library. I believe it's on the right side. I think it's on the main page. But there's a document library that shows you every single newsletter. It's very generic. It has a little article. Sometimes it'll be about life insurance. Sometimes it'll be about Medicare Advantage. It always has some kind of recipe in it. It's got your picture on it and your information on the top. The whole purpose of having the recipe is they hope people print it and put it on the refrigerator. That way your face is up there as well.
So those newsletters may not be appropriate for ACA.
They're not based upon one thing or the other. They're made for everybody. They're made for if you have a 20-year-old client or a 55-year-old client or a 75-year-old client.
Okay, because I was going to say if you did that, then you could just not do ACA. But
No, they're supposed to be age appropriate for anybody.
okay.
I know for some of my clients, they have a mailing address and a street address.
We always put the actual address that you guys go to. I do not put P.O. boxes because people use the Mac system to say, hey, I got to go see Mrs. Jones. What's her address?
Right.
So I don't ever put P.O. boxes in there. I always use actual physical address.
But is there a way of being able to put a mailing address for when Scott wants to send to a different address?
You can change it once it's in there.
Okay.
Or put it in the notes.
Or put it in the notes, yeah. Well, you want to change it while it's in there because it's going to go to the address in there. Maybe put the actual physical address in the notes section.
There's 2 lines for street address too. so-
Here's what one of the newsletters, the one for December, looks like. So it gives you a little bit of an idea. It talks a little bit about healthier eating, long-term care insurance, a recipe in there, some changes from Medicare in 2016. Always a fun fact or something in there, and then of course at the bottom's gonna be where your picture goes into. So again, it's a nice little newsletter to have. Again, I like sending the cards out because my handwriting stinks.
They're nice cards.
Yeah, so it's nice. You can do Christmas cards, birthday cards. They're very simple to do. And again, you're right in front of your client. They're a nice hard card. They look really, really good. It has your name and so you know exactly who it came from. Why is it not working? I need a new mouse.
Any questions on that?
John, a question about scanning the fact finder.
Mhm.
Did you fold it back and then scan both sides, and that scans into one file, both sides?
No, I scanned it because I scanned all 3 different ones and just put it together. Like when
Okay.
you were doing when you turn in an app.
All right.
All right, Aaron, go to ASB reports, please.
Has everybody been able to log into their ASB reporting site with their number and their PaperHost username, capital?
Sure.
I good. Put 321. And password, my last name capitalized.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
This is for everyone.
No.
No, this is not for everybody.
You all gotta have my last name. All caps.
Only for
What
the
else?
6974.
Oh, I got it down.
Alright. Alright. Use it enough, so what the heck. Alright, so this is your ASB reports page. And everybody's been able to get on here before, right? This is where you can get access to everything off of here. So if you don't know where you get paid from, you can get your paper host off of here. If you didn't know how to get the Macs, there's your database login there with your Macs. If you need to run some reports, you can do that off of here. But most importantly, it gives you a lot of these resources. If you need to see the convention flyer, you want to go to Puerto Rico next year and you want to see the flyer on it, you get to see that. But the most important thing is your agent resources. we're gonna go over a couple of different quitting tools here in just a second. I did wanna let you know that if you run into a place and you can't find your agent numbers, you can also get your agent numbers off right here. So a lot of people, a lot of times if you're out in the field, somebody just learned something.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Is that already populated?
it is populated.
It has most of them in there. There might be some you have to add yourself.
Yeah, so if you go in there, you can go into your agent numbers. You know, you see here's some of my agent numbers. Feel free to write these down and use these. That's okay. But this will have all of them. But if there is something that's missing, you can add one new. So if you have a company for some reason, it did not get added into your agent numbers for some reason, they didn't have any business you've written in a while, you can add it new so it's in there. And again, it's a great place to be able to go to one place that you're logging into. There's all your agent numbers.
Now they also have the annuity back office in here as well. They're finishing up the life part now and getting all that stuff ready to go and getting all the information on here for that. But they have the annuity back office. So if you ever have any questions or anything, you can always give them a call.
Quoting tools are going to be what we're going to quickly go over right now. I'm only going to go over two of them. If you want to, you can play with the long-term care quoting tool. We're not a huge long-term care quoting office, but it is a nice little tool. I played with it. You can get Genworth, Mutual of Omaha. There's quite a few different companies that are on there. But the main one I want to go over today is iPipeline. Who's had a chance to register for iPipeline? Okay, about three. Nice. iPipeline is great. iPipeline is where you're going to be using iPipeline a lot. It replaces, I guess, what you used to do with iGroup. iGroup tools, iGroup web. iPipeline is much better. So if you go to iPipeline, you're going to put quotes. Escrow 6284. And the password is a capital C OZMO 11 $sign.
COZ.
Cosmo.
Oh, try again.
My bad. Was all the letters capital?
Nope, just to see, but escrow is not capital. SGRW 6284.
Do one letter at a time because see,
It takes a
it's all crappy keyboard.
You guys know I have bad eyes.
You can't see it from back here.
Capital C, little OZMO 11 $sign. Where's my dog going?
That's Ed McMahon's dog.
There you go.
Yeah,
Well, I'm trying to get there.
I think so.
You think so?
We're fine when I was using.
Let's see what I say. Okay. Yeah, let's see, that's it. Alright, so here's iPipeline. iPipeline is great because you can put essentially as little or as much as you need to. Put in a 45-year-old. For the female. Most important thing is you gotta put the state, you gotta put what product.
We're not very loud.
I know, well, we're gonna be if it doesn't stop.
Not in Kansas anymore.
Alright, put 100,000. And we're going to do a 20-year term. So you can essentially put, if you want to add riders to it, children's riders, shared premium, you can do any of that. You can add height and weight. It'll give you your classification. If you want to put your own classification, you can do that by selecting health class. Come on. There you go. And there's all your health classes you can select. Now, if you don't want to, you want to say, well, what should it be? You can use X-ray. X-ray is going to give you, like it says, for more accurate quotes, but you can start help assessing all the information by putting everything in. The cool thing is, if you don't want to, you know, you can just fill in one or two things. I could put a date of birth. Put 12/25/1954.
It's already there.
12/25.
1954. Thanks. Thanks, John. But 5'10", 175 pounds. That's me.
Tell the truth.
I believe he is.
Tell the truth.
5'4", 185, 60 years old. All right. Now, you don't have to go into the family history, but you can. If there was a family history of heart attacks and you want to see where it's going to get rated, you can. But anytime you're done, you can say, okay, take you back to quoting. Then it's going to pull up your best comparators on the companies. Kind of funny, American General here, number one, but Protective General North American. The cool thing is, if you look over here, it gives you your options right there of the companies that have EAPs. It's already right there. Drop ticket, EAP. If you need to get a paper form, you can click on that. It's ready to go, print out. But if you're sitting with the house and it says EAP on it, you go in and do the EAP. But it gives it to you everything right there. And again, you can customize it. If you want to go back and say, well, I didn't have right the details in there. If you put all the family history, it'll give you what your rating's going to be, or where they think your rating's going to be. So if you sit with somebody that's a little bit heavier and who takes diabetes with a pill, and you want to know if it's going to, qualify in there, you can put that information in.
So, sorry.
No,
So
you're
on the boxes to the left, if you check those boxes and then email the quote, it'll just email those specific companies to the client.
Yep. So you can pick what you want to go over there.
Because we don't sell the first two, do we?
Sure do.
Yes, we do.
All of these
All these
are
companies are available through ASP.
Yeah. These are all available. Doesn't mean you have a license with them. And again, if you have one that, you say, well, Protective comes in number 2, and I never worked with Protective, you can get licensed with them to do that.
What's drop ticket?
Drop ticket is essentially it's a shorter EM. A drop ticket, I did a little webinar on this last week because I wasn't sure about drop ticket either, but it's essentially on the drop ticket. It's about a 5-page little EAP, and it sends it in, and the company, American General in this case, ends up doing a lot of the legwork. They'll order the port of med, they'll order the medical records and everything else. If they need to contact the client, they will. So it's a little bit shorter EAP. Did you guys use drop tickets before? No? Okay. I did a webinar last week, so I knew a little bit. But the EAP is normally about 9 or 10 pages, like a North American EAP. The drop ticket's about 5. So it's about half. Yeah, the drop ticket seems like a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
If you put everything in the beginning, when you're filling everything out, the name, the address, the phone number, all that kind of stuff, when you get to the quoting part, if you click the EAP, it automatically takes all that information and puts it over there, so you don't have to do it all again.
Yeah.
Like that's down on the wall.
Can you do it offline and save it?
No, it is a web-based.
So like at Georgetown.
But
No, you have to sit on the porch in Georgetown.
Yeah, that doesn't work either.
I'm afraid
I'm always getting
lost.
Aaron, just type a name in, please. Santa Claus. Good job.
It's a female.
Claws.
Now, if we're not licensed with that company, we need to send that in to John first before.
You
we
can't do
buy
an
it.
EAP until you're licensed, yes.
Email your manager.
But in this case,
In my case, email go.
come on down. There we go.
You do anyway.
Do it now, John.
Alright, so this case, this is a drop ticket. I just want to show you what a drop ticket was. So as you can see on the drop ticket, they're just getting essentially very important information, the riders, the beneficiaries, existing insurance, and that's it. So it's a pretty simple thing to do on a drop ticket. You can be with the client, or you don't have to be with the client the drop ticket. So that they can actually get the signatures on Portamed. So it's pretty cool. So drop ticket's a nice, easy way to go. The ones that come up that way, again, they're all ready to go. So you can do the EAP drop ticket. But the X-ray, if you put all the medical information in there, it's going to come back with the right company for you, which is going to take a lot of the hard work out of it. and this will be used for any of your term products, any of your ULs, your GULs, IULs, all that will come up under here. Yeah, I don't guarantee UL. You just regular.
What can you do in IUL?
You don't
But
push
it's not
UL.
for a simplified issue.
No. No, they don't have any simplified issue on there right now. Pretty sure they don't. There's a link for it, but I don't think it does.
But you'd have to reduce the
Yeah.
premium.
No, there's no simplified issue. And now, if you're ever here to iPipeline and you want to get underwriting information, or this is where you want to get the underwriting information. So, if you're looking at, you want to get the tables, the height and weight tables, you can pull it up. So you don't have to keep all the books around. All you gotta do is set the carrier. So let's say we were on the American General, we'll stay with that. We were doing the 20-year term. There you go, there's bill charts, underwriting requirements, guidelines. You can find everything right there. So you don't have to go through a lot. Same with any of the forms or the product information. If somebody says, well, I really like that product, but what can you tell me about it? There's all the product information.
Well, do that again?
So a lot of different companies. Like there's 175 different products right there. Well, a lot of products. So, again, for the newer people, I wanted to go back over the CSG actuarial real quick, and where you can find the e-apps off of there. The Simplified Life is not yet on the actuarial, but all the Medicare supplement companies pretty much are on there. They're saying within the next few months we should have all of the applications on there.
Lafayette has got one.
Yeah, they're working on it.
I just submitted one this
Well,
week.
no,
We're gonna get them all.
no, Lafayette has it. It's not in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to go to Lafayette site for it.
Okay.
Now, the CSG actuarial is going to be used for any of your Medicare supplements, Medicare Advantage plans, any of your hospital indemnities, and any of your life final expense. So for our quick purposes, we're going to do Medicare supplement. Keep a zip code.
2945.
Alright, I think three's good.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
That was close. Is it spinning? There we go.
Somewhere around.
I get spin.
I was like, huh?
Here. This is the quickest computer in the world. Alright, so this will pull up your Medicare supplements. Most of you know how to run this software. You can pull it up just by age, by zip code, to find the cheapest Medicare supplement that's in the area. Now, electronic applications are all going to be right there. So, you know, you want to rate Group Cap Union, but you just got licensed with GCU, but you don't know where their website is. You go in and push on electronic application, it'll take you right over to where their e-app is going to be. Now, if you have somebody, and again, we've talked a little bit about if you have a household discount. A lot of people now are applying household discounts. If they are married or have somebody in their household, all you gotta do is click that apply discounts, and it'll automatically put it in there. If you want to look at and compare a couple different companies, you have a client that says, I want the three best companies, the three companies that you would recommend to me on a Medicare supplement. And you want to go ahead and put a couple of them and compare. There you go. You can go ahead and make a PDF and send it right over to your client. So again, it's very nice and easy to look at. You can put whatever companies you wanted to in there. I wouldn't suggest putting all 20 of them. It'll confuse the heck out of the companies or people that are looking at it. But it's pretty nice. Yeah, pull up.
How do you take the company that you don't write out of that list?
If you were comparing, you just wouldn't select it.
Not comparing.
Yeah, what?
That's an ASB.
I did for a while there. But,
ASB, not just for.
Who's the next in the top right corner?
Yeah.
It's not just for games. It's not all about games.
It's not all about games?
I don't understand.
Just use whiteout tape on your
I know where it is. I know.
To the universe.
Alright. Come on. There we go. Yeah, you can choose whatever ones you want to, Gabe. I mean, you can pick the ones that you want to, like you can here in green, and then create your own PDF that send over to the clients. So you won't have to show, if you don't want, let's say you're not with Heartland. You don't have a license with Heartland. You know,
But you can check it over there, Scott.
yeah,
Yeah, there's an ad.
Right in the corner.
yeah. But that's where you compare, yeah.
Yeah, but go up.
But
Go up one.
go up a little bit.
Go up the next
The
one.
top of that box. I can't.
In the
You
corner.
see where
See the
it's
ad?
got?
No, I can't. I literally can't. Hold on.
You can exit off.
There we go.
What you're saying.
Yeah. That's
Right
just saying,
there.
you can
Remove
remove it.
Oh,
But you're not gonna do that every
yes,
time.
Kate, you can remove it.
Without using water.
But it has to be done every time to get the
Yeah.
code. There was a
Alright.
question last week too, if you're on like an F plan there, you
Mhm.
can also select an N plan, a G plan, and put them all in one page to compare.
Yes, you can.
It'll hold that on the left-hand side,
Yeah.
and if
Oh,
you wanted
yeah.
to compare N, somebody here was
Over
asking
here?
about it, and you can.
Yeah. Yeah, so you have the things there so you can compare them, yes. Oh. Yeah, I guess somebody may want to see what an N looks like next to a Plan F. It can happen, yeah. A lot of people, they want to know where to find out if somebody wants to pay annually. There's a thing to go ahead and get an annual rate. You make sure you get the right price out to people, which is great. And then the market analytics. This is the one that shows you essentially what their increase history has been over the last few years. I use this a lot. I'm sitting with somebody and they want to see, you know, GCU. I've never heard of GCU. Well, they've only been to work for 2 years, but you can see kind of what their increase history, what they're planning on being in the next few years. So they put market analytics in there. So you can see which company is going to have, you would hope, the lowest increases over the next few years. So again, it gives you a lot more information than what you currently have on there. And of course, you can go right off of the Medicare supplement and go right up to final expense. It's past Christmas. I know we should have a better mouse for Christmas for you. But 29485 again, or 83 or whatever. I don't think that's the problem. I think it's the I.
It's the user.
It's not the user. Okay.
It's actually the mouse pad.
Now, this is the last thing I want to show people because a lot of people have been asked a lot of questions about. Everyone knows how to run a $10,000 life insurance. It's pretty simple to run. You can see which one's the cheapest. You can see which companies you like working with. But a lot of people are asking, well, what if I have somebody who's a diabetic? Which company is better for diabetes? You can add all your different conditions over here on the side where it says add underwriting data. So if you run something, say we have a congestive heart failure, which companies can we not write with congestive heart failure?
All of them.
No, but in the last 2 years, they were all neighbors. It's not been within the
So
last-
there, all you gotta do is click it once. Takes a second. Nobody saw you click it. Did click it.
In the box.
I did the first one. There we go.
You just gotta wait for it.
Yeah, it takes a minute. Alright, so then it puts in the congestive heart failure, and it shows you essentially which companies. Huh, that was
Not
on.
always accurate.
Double check it.
Yeah.
You gotta look at
Double
the ad.
check it.
Yeah, look at the ad.
And then
Yeah,
it says
but
full
most of it,
insurance.
you can see 10 years, forever. They don't like congestive heart failure in any of these.
COPD.
That's another good thing.
Yeah, COPD is a good one.
That's right, it's your heart doctor, you can't
It
breathe.
says forever.
It
Yeah,
is.
it's like way at the bottom. Some of the ones we should comments.
America standard.
Ride to a wheelchair.
Yeah, they gotta be good. They can't break.
There we go. Just like you thought. There we go. So COPD, you know, one of the persons comes there, Rural Neighbors, says they have 2 years. So if they're still taking a COPD medication, they're gonna be a little bit of trouble, but let's see, which one's it called?
Transamerica,
Standard.
go down,
Yeah.
as preferred.
It's still available at the time, I should see that one for. There we go.
That says 10 years.
That's for,
Age 45.
Yeah, that one's not right.
That's not
the thing is, you're allowed to have it, it's just, you can have, in that bottom section, you can have, one box checked.
Yeah. That's not exactly right. I would double check it, but it'll give you an idea on a tough condition. I had somebody recently that was in a wheelchair but wasn't taking any medication. But he had to find out why he's confined to a wheelchair, and it actually, found out some people that we could use. So again, it gives you a little bit of an idea of what you can do. Is there any questions on the quoting software? Is everyone using the CSG? Pretty much.
So if we had somebody that wanted to pay just like $50 a month, is there a way to just see how much insurance they could get for $50 a month?
Mhm. Yeah, that's- Yeah, I know, hold on here, Tom. He's trying. It's not going over there. There we go. Take away the lease. Alright, for $50, or 50.
Wait, you gotta get the face value out.
It's out.
It grazed it.
It grazed it out.
So there you go. So in this case, Settlers came up with $8,125, Transamerica $9,000. So then you can
sort it by,
then you can sort it by. Something like price. You can also put in there if you're a single premium, 10-year, 15-year pay. Single pay is what comes up. Right off. Let's take that out. Can you delete that? And say you want to get how much money you needed for a $10,000 single premium, or vice versa. You can put in, do you have $5,000? How much can you get? You can go back and forth on this. And some of this is just really kind of playing with it, so you get comfortable with it. It's for people that like to find single premiums. In this case, Settler says for a 65-year-old female, you need $4,944 to get a $10,000 paid up policy. Alright, the last thing that I wanted to do, you want to log into your, at least you can see how to set up the iPipeline? Show them how to set up iPipeline?
I don't know what the login.
You don't know your login? Nope. Alright. Well, I'm not going to show you. But for those of you who have not set up iPipeline, please go over and set up iPipeline. The first time, it's going to make you go over and create an account.
Why don't you use Troy's?
But you can click on that side, you can show them where to go with it.
But you can't. It takes me automatically over.
no, because
When you logged in there was a register.
yeah.
You guys are gonna need to register.
So it's the first time you log in.
Yeah, the first time you log in, you just need to register for an account. It'll recognize you, and it doesn't take too long for them to send you back your stuff.
Do they also send you back your username and password?
Yes, ma'am.
They send it to your email. Yeah, because when I do it, I'm not gonna come up anymore.
Register?
It's once you hit quote.
Yeah, you have to pick something, pick like quotes or something.
It just sends me over there.
Oh, you, saved your login, that's why.
Once you register, you can.
So you have to go to iPipeline, you click on it, and it makes you register. So you have to register before you can use it.
Once you register, it'll send you an email over. You click on the email and you go over and you create a password, and then you'll have iPipeline login. But if you guys have not done that, I suggest trying to do that. So when you get out in the field, you have it up ready to go. Now, iPipeline is great. It comes up with all the different companies right next to it, and all the links for the e-apps right there. The same way with the Medicare supplements. And I love the e-apps. The e-apps are usually turned around in 24, 48 hours on Medicare supplements, on final expense. So we're trying to use e-apps as much as possible. And I like iPipeline much better than the iGroup. I know we used to use the iGroup a lot. The iPipeline is so much better, especially when you can put height and weight, you can put blood pressure and things in there. It'll come out with where your rating should be. So you'll know which companies to go to instead of going to the same company over and over. So, Ronnie?
And the only thing you can't do final expense in iPipeline,
No.
you can't do med sup.
No, that's all the CSG actuarial.
Yeah.
So those are the only two things you can't do in iPipeline?
iPipeline is just for term and UL. It's only for underwritten cases. The CSG actuarial is pretty much anything that's not fully underwritten. So you're looking at final expense, simplified issue, Medicare supplements, Medicare Advantage, hospital indemnity, all this simplified issue is over in the CSG actuarial. So if you're looking at $10,000 to $25,000, you're pretty much going to CSG. And if you're looking for a term or a guaranteed UL, then you're looking to go over to iPipeline.
Now, one thing with using all these e-apps, if you write a simplified issue, final expense, and you're splitting it with somebody and they do not have a number yet, you need to send me an email as soon as possible with that split. Oxford and Royal Neighbors, it's a great problem to have. They are paying so quickly. By the time you turn the app